show, everyone. We are taking over your Tuesday as always. My name is Maximo, your host. Welcome to VodPod Media. Another phenomenal night. I gotta say, I'm happy that I'm alive because yesterday I got pummeled by allergies. Oh, I got crushed.
No.
So
terrible.
if anybody's got allergies, look, I'm with you. I got crushed yesterday too. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're alive. Hope everyone's doing good wherever you may be, chiming in. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a share, subscribe. Because I'm here with my good friend Laura T. Garza, Executive Artistic Director at Teatro Audaz, who's brought me this phenomenal bag. Look at this sweet bag here. And I told her I would open up the gifts on air because we want to see the goods here. We've got an official Teatro Audaz shirt. Yeah, woo! Look at that. We got, what else do we got here? We've got the official bumper sticker, or put it on the back of your computer screen. What a nice Teatro Audaz logo. And talk to me a little bit about what this symbol means. I mean, look at all this stuff here. Talk to us. Let's get right into it, and we'll have you do a couple things. One, tell us a little bit about Teatro Audaz and tell us about this sweet logo with the colors here.
Okay. Well, Teatro Audaz, we started we're going on a 7th season now, so 7 years ago. As you know, you were part of that in the very beginning. We pretty much started out as an idea between myself, Allison Vasquez, and Paula Rodriguez, 3 educated Latinas who were in the community and kind of seeing what was around and what wasn't, right? And disheartened by the lack of opportunities on stage, but also in the director's seat, designers, that kind of thing. Noticing a lot of the same names and faces and people going up and not really seeing ourselves represented or our stories being represented. We decided to make our own, and that's where Teatro Audaz came in. So now we're about really just making sure that representation is at the forefront of what we do, right? For us, it's not just, a little here, a little there, one show, these people. No, it is all day, every day, 24/7.
Yeah.
That's what we do from the page to the stage. Representation matters to us from the top to the bottom.
So it's not just a gimmick.
No.
It's written about who y'all are, who y'all want to be. It's everything from leadership, staff, all of that. So that's great. Fearless, bold, audacious theater is kind of like the tagline. Yeah. And so awesome work. And I know y'all do phenomenal work. We're getting into the 7th season. You got a nice fan here
That's
too.
A fan. Yeah, you got to open it up.
A really nice fan. Let's open that up here.
Yeah.
Show all the viewers. What else do we got?
We got some new merch.
Wow, it's a Fiesta medal. Yeah. All right.
So there we go.
Look at that fan. It's got the logo on it too. My goodness. And what is this? A bottle of shampoo for the little bit of hair I have left?
No, that is not shampoo.
Oh, it's a shot glass. There it is.
Because you know how we do it. You got to have a shot glass.
Reclaiming our roots. Wow, with the season and a pen and a lanyard. Yep. Yay. Dude, this is like Christmas. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For coming on the show and giving these wonderful gifts. So we've got to thank all of our viewers, all of our guests that come on. We've had so many wonderful guests week after week and coming on, and we've got to thank Laura, for coming on and sharing, a little bit about yourself. Yeah. We're going to dive into that and sharing, the vision for Teatro Audaz and the upcoming season. Y'all been hard at work with this. This is not something it's easy to do. A lot of people say, hey, I'm going to start up this company. Any startup, any, entrepreneurs out there, they know how hard it is. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself to our viewers. Let's have you jump in there and then talk to us about, why teatro, in general.
Well, myself, we could be here for a long time.
Well, we got an hour, so let's see what we can do.
Let me see. Well, I got involved in theater at a very young age, and, I have now grown into a full blown theater practitioner. I don't know why. I just always came back to it. Even in high school, I did like color guard with the flags and the rifles and doing all that stuff. But I was always drawn to theater. So when I went to college, my first school being SAC, San Antonio College. I really got drawn in there. Paula was one of my professors and mentors there. She was the one who pulled me in and said, hey, why don't you audition for a show, and her show. It was her first show because it was her first year there, and it was Anton in Show Business. I'll never forget. And I had my son who was 2, my oldest, who's now 21. Oh my God, I just aged myself, but yeah, he was 2 at the time. Sometimes I would bring him to rehearsal with me. He would be on my hip. I'd be on the stage, and she loves to tell the story of how she remembers him on my hip, me at rehearsal with him on my hip, and like repeating my lines after me, right? Like I would yell at the actress on stage with me, and then he'd be behind me going, bah, 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 like just mimicking whatever I was doing. So that's always a great story that she likes to share. But yeah, so when I was there at SAC, I realized that I wanted to do this as a career, right? And not in the sense of I wanted to go off and perform and, do that. I wanted to teach. Because I was inspired by the work that people like Paula Rodriguez, Charles Falcon, Jim Mammarella, Jeff Hunt, Ronnie Watson, what they were doing in that department at that time, that I just felt like this is something that I want to do because I knew I loved theater.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really going to move away because at the time I was, married. I'm still married with my husband and kids, of course. And we're not going to just move because he's the breadwinner, right?
Yeah.
And his job is here. So, I'm like, okay, this is something that I could do every day and wake up in the morning and be happy with what I'm doing. So, I went off and got my bachelor's at UIW after SAC, and then I went to Texas State and got my MFA in directing. And that was quite a feat because I had to drive and commute every day for about 3 years to do that from San Antonio to San Marcos, just to do that, But it was like a short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal. At least that's the way one of my professors from UIW kind of spelled it out for me, Margaret Mitchell. She was amazing. So yeah.
Well, a lot of good shout outs as well. So shout out to all of the people that have inspired you, teachers, directors, any mentors out there. Shout out to our partners that allow us to do this work as well, that, fuel us and give us the energy and resources that we need to do the work. Nobody gets where they're going alone. I like to say that. No. And it's all a work. And so we got to thank, our people that give us the opportunity for tonight too. We've got a great team here at VodPod Media. There's a great team at Teatro Audaz, and you've talked about the vision. You've talked about, starting this organization years ago. I understand we have a season coming up here. What do we got in store for the 2023 season? And my goodness, how did we survive COVID in the teatro world, by the way?
For us, well, because we don't have a lot of overhead, we're a small theater company, and we didn't have all the expenses that a lot of other theater companies did have in order to keep their staff going or a building running. We didn't have that. So we were lucky in that sense, right? But we were able to do some streaming shows with the Public Theater. We have been in residence there off and on for ever since our second year in existence. So ever since then, we've been with them. But the good thing is that we were able to do those streaming shows, and that kept us doing theater, right? We were on the big stage. We did Curanderas y Chocolate. We did Men on the Verge of a Hispanic Breakdown. Frida, Vice Versa. So we did a lot of shows during that time. I think we did a full production season, but all streaming, right? Yeah. Which towards the end of that, we ended up doing a hybrid, which was Panza Monologues, which Paula came back to direct for us. And that one was like when we were finally coming out of it. But yeah, it was just streaming shows. But then I think people got kind of tired, right? Yeah. It was like of watching streaming shows or doing things on Zoom. It's like that fatigue, computer fatigue. So it's like, okay, got to get out of that. So that's how we survived, because we were lucky enough not to have to, have a lot of overhead, I think.
Yeah, and there's certainly something, during that time that's missing. You weren't able to experience that magic of the theater, during Zoom and whatnot. I mean, come on.
Because you need people there, right? That is the magic of live theater, is that you have an audience there that has this shared experience with you, and you feed off of their energy, and they also can sense your energy on stage. And so it's all of that together that makes theater, what it is and so special. And that was the thing that was missing. So yeah, it was nice to get back into it, coming out of it. So
yeah. Well, shout out to Paula as well. I know you referenced Paula. I miss Paula Rodriguez wherever you're at. I hope you're watching. If you're not watching, someone get her onto this screen and tag her right now. Damn it. And tell her to get back to San Antonio. We hope everyone's doing well tonight. We're kind of shooting the stuff here, but we got an amazing season that's planned for everyone at Teatro Audaz. So if you're into theater, if you're not into theater, you're probably going to want to come out to these shows. Okay. You know, the local theater companies, we always say support local, but there's a lot of talent that you all are going to be showcasing, from the playwrights to the directors to the actors. Talk to us a little bit about the upcoming season and how you went about selecting these 4 shows.
Right. So this season, well, this past season, right before this season, our 2022 season, we had a very successful season. It was our familia season, right? So familia es todo. So it was all about how families, everything was coming out of COVID and how family is really important. I think COVID did kind of show that to us, right? Is that there are things that are more important than like business and money and all those things, right? So that was our season kind of coming out of it. And then that season was so successful. We had we got 25 ATAC awards from that show, 2 Broadway World Awards from that show. And, you know, credibility, and people are starting to notice, you know, oh, Teatro Audaz, what are they doing? What's going on? And so I'm like, okay, what are we doing, but what are we missing, right? So this stuff is going well, but we're missing some stuff. And I know you remember when we first started out, we used to do like staged readings and we did new works and that kind of stuff. And we kind of got away from that. And I said, well, I kind of want to go back. I want to go back and revisit some of those things, but maybe do it better, right? And in doing that, I thought, well, our season should reflect this idea that I have of going back to what? And then we kind of were just spitballing. It's like, okay, our roots, going back to our roots, and that's where Reclaiming Our Roots came out of. That's the name of our season. That's the theme of our season, Reclaiming Our Roots, right? And so we have 4 great shows lined up for the season. One of them is Luchadora, by Alvaro Rios, and that's our first show. That's our season opener in June. And then right after that, we have The Ghost of Lotte Bravo. That's in July in the Cellar, and that's going to be directed by Charles Falcon, which I'm really excited about because we finally got him. We finally got him to agree to come and direct because, you know, we'd been asking every year ever since we've been in existence, but he was always so busy with school and with work. He was just like, I don't have time. But then he retired. After I want to say 28 years at San Antonio College, you know, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. So when he said yes, I was like, yay! I grabbed onto him really quickly, and so that's great. And then after that, we have our first like real musical that we're doing, which I'm super excited about. It's Somewhere Over the Border by Brian Quijada, who is a new up-and-coming playwright who also did Where Do We Sit on the Bus? And that one was a really good show for him. So I've been kind of following his work and seeing that he did this musical, which I saw during COVID streaming. Okay. I actually watched it. I was like, okay, this is one that I want to bring here for us. And then the last one, our season closer, is going to be It's a Wonderful Vida by Herbert Siguenza, which is his take on It's a Wonderful Life, right? And it's in December. But at least I want to say 2 out of the 4 shows are Texas premieres. So we're doing like state Texas premieres of 2 of our shows of the season. And I think another one is too. I'm just waiting for confirmation to make sure. But yeah. Those are the shows, and they're going to be amazing. And the people we have involved are going to be, we have a pretty good team lined up. Abe Ramirez will be directing our first show, Luchadora. And then I'll be directing Somewhere Over the Border with Abe as my associate director. Okay. And we have Gid De La Rosa coming in as our musical director for that one. So I'm really excited about that. That is another thing that we do with Teatro Audaz. We try to find local talent, fresh faces, new voices, right, to bring into the fold, to bring into our familia, as we call it. Because, with us, with Teatro, like once you come and be a part of the Audaz familia, you're never getting away. Like it may be dysfunctional, but you're always going to be part of our familia.
You get caught up in the spider webs. You're not leaving.
You do. And they do tend to stay. So, we're excited about that. Our community has grown over the last 7 years, and we have a pretty faithful following. So, these shows are great. And I'm just hoping we get a lot of people come and sign up for auditions. So far, I think we have almost half of the slots filled, which is great. So if anybody's looking to audition, they better sign up quick because those slots are going. I'm just saying.
Well, it certainly looks like, from what I've read on the shows, they're very engaging. They're very creative. They're very, relative and relational, right? People are going to be able to relate to the shows, and it gives people the opportunity to express themselves. When you talk about Latino theater or Chicano teatro, however we may want to, view it, it's always been a storytelling or a verbal sort of communicative experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the blessing of it, right? I mean, performance and getting out there and telling the story and dancing and singing and showcasing. A lot of times we like to think, well, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the storytelling tradition.
Absolutely. I mean, it's our cuentos that count, right? The cuentos of our community. And that's, those are passed down from generation to generation. And absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Our community have some great stories to tell. And not just that, we have some great talent to showcase their own stories as well. And that was another thing that we really wanted to bring into the fold, was like making sure that we are utilizing local talent, right? That we're not bringing people in from outside, because we know we have some great artists and talented artists here in San Antonio that can fill those roles and be the stars of their own stories.
There you go.
Right? Not the side ensemble character.
Yeah,
right?
not the help.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you said it, but yes. Yes.
Well, listen, I mean,
It's
there's certainly a case to be made. We know the sort of talent that we have in our own backyard. We know we have a primo or a prima that is so talented out there right now that is singing in the kitchen while she's cooking, or people have known them to be a character and be able to, recite poems and spoken word or music very, very well. And so if you're watching this right now and you have someone that you think should potentially audition, please tag them in the comment section. We want to know where all the talent's at. I'm always interested in meeting talented people. We have a ton of talented individuals in the San Antonio area and beyond. No, it's no secret that we shoot the show in San Antonio, but we are a national, worldwide show. We have people that can potentially come in from all over, whether it be in the surrounding areas. You talk about San Marcos, New Braunfels, South San Antonio. You can come down and audition for the show. So auditions are this week.
Yes, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
So auditions are this week, folks. If you're watching the replay, that is Thursday, March 22nd, 23rd?
23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. I was told, okay, let's say I'm a young, talented person. I've never been in a show before. I want to come and audition. What the hell am I supposed to do anyway?
Okay, so if you want to do that, first thing is you're going to sign up. Okay, you're going to fill out the audition form. And in that, it has all of the requirements that we're asking for, which is going to be monologues, right? Number one, we're going to ask you to come in prepared with something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to showcase what you can do as an actor, right? We want to see your range. We want to see your talent. We want to see that you will put in the work, right? And what I mean by that is, like, I always say the 3 Ps to my students, because now I'm teaching at SAC. So even to my students, the 3 Ps they're so important, right? You should come in prepared, polished, and with stage presence, right? Presence on stage. So those 3 things are very important. We want to see that you're going to do a little research on the shows that we're presenting, maybe, and find a monologue that kind of fits in with that, right? It doesn't have to, please don't do one from the actual show, because that's always a big tip. It's like, don't ever do something from the actual show that you're auditioning for. Because, the director might have an idea of what they want, and then you come and do something totally different, and you've already totally ruined it for yourself. So don't do that, but do something close to the type of character you're wanting to audition for, or maybe from the same playwright, right? Something that is going to speak to that same culture, that style or genre of show that we are presenting at that time. For ours, we're asking for 2 monologues, a comedy and a dramatic, right? So comedic and dramatic. 2 1-minute monologues. You got to memorize them, you got to prepare them, and bring them for the audition. And really, you're going to audition in front of myself and the other directors, right? So we have closed auditions. I don't have everybody sitting there watching all the auditions. It's just us and the directors. And then if you are interested in also auditioning for the musical, we ask that you bring 16 bars prepared of a musical theater piece, contemporary. And there, we didn't really want to give a style, because the style of musical that we're doing has a mixed genre of music in there. So we wanted people to, again, feel free to come in and showcase their talent and see what they bring. And hopefully they'll do a little research on what type of music is in the show and follow along, right? We want to see who's going to do the work and who's going to come in prepared.
Very interesting.
That's what directors are looking at. I mean, if you want to know.
So, I mean, listen, I mean, you're looking for talent. You're looking for people that are skilled, people that maybe are, more skilled, maybe novice. I mean, and you want to bring people on because there's certainly opportunities, right, within the plays.
Yeah, and the level of skill, we can always work with that, right? A good director, is gonna be able to work with anybody, any level of skill. It's just that they come in ready to do the work.
There you go.
That's what we want to see. If you come in prepared and you've at least done your research and you show that you want to be a part of this enough to do that, then I'll work with any skill level. It doesn't matter. Okay, that presence on stage too, that's something that some people say that it can't be taught. And well, yeah, we try to teach it right in our classes. There is something about it, right? It's like a presence, a knowing on stage of who's around you, what your surroundings are, what to do with your hands. So you're not there going like, I don't know what to do with my hands, right? Like that kind of thing. It's just like knowing how to have your body cheating out towards the audience and not turning your back to us, right? It's that awareness. And then charisma, you need to have that from the moment you walk into the room. So another tip, please don't come in and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so nervous, and then start, come in smiling and be confident. Even if you're not, you got to pretend like this is going to be the best monologue you've ever seen in your life. Make me believe it. Because then when you perform and you're done, say thank you like it was the best monologue that you ever did. Even if you totally screwed it up, just pretend like it was the best and walk off confident. Because then I don't know. I'm not sitting there with a script, So I'm just watching what you're giving me, the energy you're giving me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Sure. And I've heard the phrase, you got to own it if you want it.
Yeah.
And so all the world's a stage, you got to get up and perform every day. And so confidence is a big deal anywhere you go. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something for any, young, theater person or anyone looking to apply for a particular job. You go into an interview and you've got to be confident, right? Yeah. You've got to own it.
Absolutely.
That's engaging. That's powerful.
Yeah. And we're not just taking auditions for people on stage. We also have a sign up on that same information link that people can sign up if they want to try to be on one of our crews or design. They can submit their names for that as well, because like I said, we're looking for local talent, new faces, new voices, we're always trying to bring new people into the fold.
Well, that's good stuff. I'm excited for y'all. I mean, I'm very excited and thankful for all these wonderful gifts I've got here. And it's interesting, you talk about being confident in the show. You're very well spoken on the show tonight. So thank you for coming in. Some people, I'll be honest, some people come in here and they get a little nervous. They're like, well, what are you going to ask me? Are you going to, they're thinking I'm going to come in here and embarrass them or something like that. And so we got to give you a big shout out for being prepared and well spoken and well read. I understand you are taking sponsors as well.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's something that, most nonprofits are taking donations, sponsorships, anybody that may want to donate.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about the sponsorships.
Well, yeah, as you know, we are not, or we were talking about it earlier, we are not city funded or grant funded or anything like that. For all 7 years, we've been doing it just off of our own, whatever we produce, then whatever money or ticket sales make, we put that right back into the business, into the company, right? And so, not corporate sponsorship, but any season sponsorship that we're looking for right now is we have levels, right? We have different levels to it, because without that help, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like we've been lucky the last couple of years to have some really great season sponsors. And we give you a shout out online. We put your name on our playbill or program. We put your name on our website or a logo if it's someone that owns a company and they want to advertise their logo or their business. Then we can do that too. But yeah, we do have 4 different levels of sponsorship, and they are. Hojas, which is $50 and up, ramas, which are $100 and up, and then tronco, which is $500 and up, and then raíces, which is $1,000 and up, and all going with the theme of our reclaiming our roots for this year. So that's what we're doing this year for our sponsorship, and it's been only with the help of the community that we've been able to really raise some money.
Yeah, it's hard to do things without support. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you got to have support of some form, fashion. And so if you're out there, find Teatro Audaz online. I'm sure you can Google them. You can find them on social media. Let's get connected. Let's see how we can support these efforts. I mean, this is exciting stuff. The 4 shows I'm looking forward to. And I'll be honest, I mean, you all, Teatro Audaz, have a history of putting out great shows. You know, one of the last shows I saw was the Panza monologues that you were in, directed by Paula. I remember just laughing all throughout the whole show, and there was something there for everyone.
Yeah.
There really is. A lot of people would look at, you know, Teatro Audaz and be like, well, you know, I don't speak Spanish.
That one right
you
there.
know, I don't relate to this community. I don't think this is for me. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
No, it's not. The majority of our shows, 95% of our shows are all in English, right? I'm talking about like what is said in our shows. We do have some Spanish sprinkled in there, but if you can read the human body language, then you can figure out what's going on stage for that 5% of what might be Spanish, right? Teatro Audaz, people see that name and like, oh, is it in Spanish? That's the first thing, you know, some of the first questions we get is, no, most of our shows are in English. But yeah, there's definitely something for everybody. And I honestly believe that there is a universal language, right, in these stories that relate and make it relevant for everybody, right? Because every family, no matter if, you know, you're Latino or whatever other race or ethnicity, I can't tell you enough, everybody has that crazy drunk uncle, you know, or that nosy neighbor, or, you know, that aunt that, you know, we all know those people. And you see it up on stage, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. And through those shared stories and those shared experiences, we can start to connect, right? And say, hey, I'm just because, you know, my skin color is different or my last name is different, I talk a little bit different, I'm no different than you. You know, we're all the same. Yeah.
That's one thing that's good about the human experience. It's universal, and you could find the ways to relate and learn about others, you know, and bridge the gaps and bring people together. And that's part of the storytelling process, right? That's part of what we try to do at the show here, part of what we try to do every day. So much kudos and credit to you all for putting in this work. You know, 4 shows, that's a lot of work still. Right? You know, you talk about multiple weekends, multiple cast members, multiple moving pieces. It's a difficult thing for these productions, but y'all are official. I mean, look at all this swag, all this gear. And I'm looking forward to the shows. We're looking forward to getting out there. You know, what do you want to add about the shows? I mean, is there something in particular here? If you wanted to pick on 1, 2 of the shows that you want to highlight, at least let's talk about Luchador, since that's coming up first.
Oh yeah, that's
going to be in June of this year.
Yes, that show. Oh my gosh, so I reread the script, you know, because I read it a long time ago, and then I reread it again recently when we were looking at the shows that we were picking, and I just fell in love with it all over again. It is just women empowerment, right? But also it's a lovely, like, father-daughter story, right? And it just really touches your heart. This show in particular is about, you know, a young girl who finds an old pink wrestling mask, right? That prompts her then grandmother to like tell the story of how that pink wrestling mask came to be in their possession, right? And through some twists and turns, we find out some things that we didn't expect to, which is really kind of cool. But it also, you know, in the end, you know, she's being told that she's a tomboy, and she wants to step into her father's shoes, right? Because he was a luchador, and so he wants to do it, and she's being told no. And this is really a story of, like, you know, again, women can do anything that men can do, right? And so not just that, she's able to kind of connect with her father in a way that is pretty, it's, you know, it's touching. It's touching when I read it. And I was like, okay, this, I mean, you know, just because with my own, we all do, right? We all have those family experiences or experiences with someone, a loved one, and then you read something and it kind of reminds you and it just touches you in a certain way. And so this one really did speak to me. So yeah. It
sounds fun, you know, and that's the thing about theater, you know, you could always, you find those ways to relate and connect with the character.
It's going to be physical because, you know, you got the luchador scenes and stuff like that. And we've got some stuff going on in there. So I'm really hoping that this show in particular is like, one of our big ones, right? Because it is a family show, so it's more family friendly. With us, you said fearless, bold, audacious theater. When we say bold, we go bold, right? We do shows that sometimes push the boundaries a little bit, but with this one, this is our most family friendly show. Some over the board is also kind of family friendly, but this one is our most one. So I'm really hoping that there's something in there for everybody.
Yeah. And Alvaro is based out of Houston still?
I believe so. Actually, we're going to be reaching out to him. Our hope is, and this year, this is another thing we're kind of trying to make sure we do, is that we bring the playwright for each show down for at least one of the weekends of our production, and that they're able to do a talk back with the audience afterwards. We're going to call it Playwright Platicas, and so they'll sit down and do a Q&A session, and we're hoping that that's going to happen. So we are hoping that he will say yes. I know that for sure Hillary Betis is probably coming. Herbert Siguenza already told me that he would be coming. And Brian Quijada, maybe. He's very, very busy, but we're still trying to get him over here.
Well, that's also fun. I mean, you're going to be able to have, if you're thinking about coming to one of the shows, you can purchase a ticket and meet the playwright, listen to why they created the story, meet some of the cast, right? Get a talk back, all those because that's really important because it gives you the opportunity to learn, what you just witnessed, right, which you don't always do when you're watching television or films and things of that nature. It gets you up close and personal.
Yeah, they get to ask questions about, different things, different characters, different storylines, why they were thinking or why they wrote this. And it's always nice to have that peek behind the curtain, so to speak, when you get to talk to the playwrights about it. I always enjoyed it.
Yeah, the talkbacks are really fun. Those are really, really worth it. And so awesome. This is going to be a phenomenal, season. I'm looking forward to it. What's the long-term game for Teatro Audaz? Because, you mentioned this is your 7th season. Mm-hmm. You were there from the beginning, founded the organization. You're 7 years in. What's next? I mean, where's the organization going?
Surviving. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, our goal in the next couple of years is to hopefully be in our own space, right? As I said, we are in residence at the Public Theater. Shout out to the Public and Claudia de Vasco and all the staff and the people that have helped us so far there, because really starting with them gave us some credibility, right? And gave us a platform. So that was really nice, the support that they give us. But, on the other side of that, you're in someone else's space, and they have their own show and their own lineups, right? And their own calendar to keep. So we go in where we fit in, right? And where there is time. So we're hoping to get our own space so that we can, cultivate our own calendar the way we want to, right? And like I told you earlier, this season, we've pushed our season to be a little different, right? The structure of it is different. All of our productions are mostly in the summer with one in December, being that most of our directors, most of the people that we work with have been either educators or college students or people just coming out of college or still in school or things like that. So we feel like that really services them the most, right? If we have our productions in times when they're not in school, so to speak, or teaching, I think that I'm hoping that'll work. Like I said, we take spaghetti, throw it at the wall and hope it sticks, right? So we'll see if that works. And then throughout the year, we're doing the new staged readings, new works. We're going to have a call for playwrights to submit their work as well. And we'll have some workshops and classes that we're going to be offering our community as well that we haven't been able to do. But hopefully we'll be able to incorporate that throughout the year when we're not in production.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So talk to me about stuff outside of Teatro Audaz. What are you watching? We know the Grammys were not the Grammys, the Academy Awards were just on. Mm-hmm. Are you watching any film? Are you watching any TV, Netflix? What are you watching?
Yeah, well,
what are you a fan of?
I'm so busy. When do I have time to watch? I usually put something on so I can fall asleep because that puts me to sleep. But, after the Academy Awards, I did go back and watch some of those films that I hadn't seen that, did get some awards. Just finished watching Everything Everywhere All at Once. That one was really good. And while it was really out there, it was also very poignant and emotional. I mean, my son, my 21-year-old, he sat there and watched it with me and we were both crying, and he's like, wow, I didn't expect that with all of the things that are going on with it, but it was really quite poignant. So that one we really enjoyed. I watched The Whale as well recently. That one also had me, crying. So I'm like, you gotta stop making me cry, y'all. Seriously. Other than that, what do I watch? Oof. New season of Mandalorian, because my kids love that stuff, and so we sit there as a family and we watch that. And I'm not gonna lie, I love it too. Little Grogu, Baby Yoda, whatever you want. Grogu is his name. He's so cute. I mean, how can you not watch it? So yeah, watching that. What else? Whatever the kids want to watch sometimes, because the little one has like control of that TV. I walk in, I'm like, dude, we bought this TV and I can never watch it now. He's like, nope, he's just there watching his stuff.
The kids own it. The kids own it.
It's whatever he wants, but I'm happy if he's happy.
So is that also what you do? And share with me more what you do for yourself, your me time, your therapy time. What do you do for that?
Oh,
because it sounds like you're so busy. I mean,
am.
you take time for yourself?
Time for myself. What's that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, you should.
I do. Every once in a while, I do. My me time is when I get to go and do like pedicures and manicure, like that stuff, like self-care type stuff, or go get my hair done. That's like, I go by myself. I don't have to hear anything, and I get to be like, I'll have my iPad or my phone, and I'm reading a script usually.
Okay.
But it's soothing for me because it's time where I can just kind of like be in my own space, right? My own mind space. So there's that. We like to go to the beach if we ever have time. But we don't travel very much though, because my mother-in-law lives with us, and she has dementia, and so it's gradually gotten worse, and so we don't leave very often because we don't either have somebody to take care of her, and we just don't. We'd rather be there with her. Other than that, go to see shows. I really do. I mean, like, that is what I do. And my husband's like, you're always going to the shows. He's like, you're always dragging me to shows, and we're always going to shows. Aren't you ever sick of theater? That's what you do day in and day out. I'm like, no, I mean, obviously not, because I love it, right? Yeah. And that is not just enjoyable for me, but it's also sometimes like research and inspiration, right? What people are doing and what's happening over here. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it relevant. You got to see what other people are doing. You got to take note of the trends. And so that's interesting. We're big supporters of theater as well. So whenever we could get out to an interesting show, we're doing that. So I'm looking forward to coming out to the shows at Teatro Audaz. I mean, it's been a pleasure to work with everyone there, and everyone that's still around. Of course, Juan Calderon is also a part of the family here. He's been on the show. Yep. Here we got to look at the season, folks. So get a look at the upcoming announcement here for the 4 shows that they have this season upcoming. And so if you're interested, they were also mentioning they're going to be taking new shows. If you're a aspiring playwright, you could submit a show and they can give them a look and, figure out if there's going to be a reading or, a table read or whatever it may be.
We're going to workshop it over a couple months. So they'll get several reads and then like a more official, like staged reading with a director and a dramaturg and all of that. So yeah, we're excited about that. Yeah.
And there's a lot of shows in production in San Antonio right now. We know I don't know how familiar you are with all the shows that are happening right now, but there's Chatos Bridge that is getting ready to be at the Guadalupe. So shout out to Mono and his crew there. We know that was it Fabulous Monsters that just came out of the cellar at the Public Theater.
Yep. And I went to see that one too. I went to see it on Thursday because I wanted to make sure I caught it before they closed. And it was a great show. The script itself is so good. Diana Borbano, the playwright, she's amazing. I really liked it a lot. And the music, oh my God, the music,
shout out to Fea.
Oh my God. My sister's a big Fea fan. So like when I told her that I had tickets, she was so excited that we went to go see that show. We had a good little girls' night that night. So it was nice.
Yeah.
And some of our friends were in it too. Mari Barrera was in it. Josie Porras. Jerry Ruiz from Texas State, he directed it. Ginger was in it. And Mark McCarver Foster, right? Foster. Yes. So, we had some acquaintances and friends in there that I was just really proud of the work that they're doing.
Yeah, and I'm also cheering for everybody that's taking the time to do this work because it's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work to memorize a full show, to get out there night after night and, perform and deliver, to an audience so they feel you, right? I mean, a lot of these shows are high energy. I mean, like you mentioned, you can't be flat. You have to have that presence, that range. and be able to, strike someone where they're at. So you can leave them like, hey, this is a good show that I just saw, right?
Well, you know what it takes. You were in a show with us a long time ago. So when you come into audition,
I don't
Maximo?
know. I need to get my stuff together with these dramas and these comedies.
You better come on out. We want to see it. Also, we have video auditions, video submissions for auditions as well. So those that may not be able to make it like in person, we're also accepting video submissions of auditions, and that information is also in the audition portion of our website. So yeah, if you go to our website and check that out, it's
very nice. Well, as they say, steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. So you're definitely going to get a little bit of that when you meet Laura, when you get out here and go to the auditions, meet some of the directors, and then get out there on stage with some of the talent that's there. Bigger shows. So there's a lot of opportunity for folks to get cast. Get out here and show your talent. There's a lot of it. And let's get some recommendations. I want to know who the next big up and coming artist is, the next big up and coming actor in San Antonio is, who's just delivering.
Oof.
I mean, we don't know. I don't know who they are right now. I know there's a ton of talent around here. We know that.
We have a ton of talent. Well, I mean, Josie Porras is on fire right now. So she's doing some really great work. I could not just, keep my eyes off of her when she was on stage in Fabulous Monsters.
Okay.
She's really very talented.
Okay, so shout out to Josie. We need to have Josie in studio to have a monologue here in the next room for part of our people. We have a worldwide audience with people, out here from Philly. Shout out to all our people in Philly and Michigan, people across Texas, of course. People that support our show from all over, but we would love to have a monologue recited, in studio by someone who can just deliver some of that talent.
Just come and do a little scene for you.
Yeah, do a scene.
Also Eric Alvarado, he was one of our actors from last season. He was in 2 of our shows. He did amazing. He won awards for both of those performances. He is one of the most talented actors I've ever worked with, but not just talented, he's humble and he's like very down to earth and he's the sweetest person you'll ever meet. So that's somebody that I would recommend working with him. I'll work with him any day of the week because, there's people that you work with that they're so easy to work with because they're coachable and they will take any, direction you give them and they try something new. Even if it like sounds wacky and weird and they're like, oh my God, that's not going to work. He'll try it.
Yeah.
And let the director see and be like, oh no, that was a bad idea.
Work.
Yeah. But at least he tries it. There's some that are like very, closed off to direction, but he's very great. John Perez is great to work with. Anastasia Islas, she's another one that's done a couple of shows with us. It's really wonderful. Ishel Cuellar was a standout for us in Bad Hombres, Good Wives. I don't know if you were able to see that show. That show was one of our standout shows of the past season that Juan directed. And every time I run into people now, I say, oh yeah, with Teatro Audaz, like, oh my God, did you guys do Bad Hombres, Good Wives? I saw the show, so hilarious. And I'm like, yeah. It was a really good show. And everybody that was involved with it did an excellent job. Mason Ortiz. These are all up and coming actors that I feel in the community that, don't get the recognition that they deserve because they don't do a lot of shows, but they need that. They should get that recognition because they are superb to
Absolutely.
work with.
And that's why I wanted to mention it. I wanted to breeze the subject because we had to give them their shine. We have to give them their spotlight. The hard work doesn't go unnoticed, and it is certainly hard work. It's hard work to do a lot of things, but a lot of those things are worthwhile, right? I mean, anything worthwhile, you're going to have to work hard, make a name for yourself, inspire people along the way. So, it's just all exciting. It's fun. There's an opportunity for folks to come out here and get involved. And so we want folks to do that. Feel free to DM us as well at VodPod Media for any ideas, suggestions, comments. We would love to have your support in any form or fashion here as well. A lot of what we do is community. We highlight community works, community people that are, underground, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of opportunities and it only happens through collaboration. And, so, if you're interested here, get involved, send them a message, come out and audition if you can, come out and support one of the shows. You can donate, you can come and, just purchase a ticket for you and the family. These make great date nights. They make great family, things to do. And so,
and we're going to have season tickets available soon too. So on our website, we will be posting a link to buy tickets, but then we'll also have like season subscriptions. So you'll be able to buy for the whole season. Like if you think all of these shows are great, then I want them all, or you just want to do 3, then you can do that. That'd be great too. So definitely take a look, because I mean, for me, it's a great date night. Maybe some people are like, I don't want to go see another show. That's my husband, but that's okay, because he'll do it anyway because he loves me. At least he better. But no, he does support me so much, even if he's not there with me at the show or, at whatever function we're going to. Who's at home taking care of the kids?
Yeah.
Who's at home taking care of what needs to get taken care of? Well, he is. He has been my rock for all of these years.
There you go.
So got to give a shout out to
That's
him.
a good story there too. So shout out to Fernando for putting in that work and being that support. Again, I'll say this till the cows come home. Nobody gets where they're going alone, and you got to have a supportive partner in anything you do. Yep. And so shout out to all those supporting partners. My partner as well, who's likely watching tonight. Maybe she's asleep. I don't know yet. She might be angry at me for saying that. But anyway,
like, I'm not oh my God, I forgot. Jay Gonzalez, Isabel de la Cerda, other up-and-coming artists that you need to watch out for, because they were in American Mariachi. They did phenomenal. I mean, so many.
There's a lot of talent.
So many I could just, name off right now that I'm just thinking of. But if I don't say them, especially Jay, because, he's one of my best friends. If I don't say him, he's going to be like, you didn't even say my name. So I was like, I bet. No, I'm just kidding. He really is so talented. And I honestly have told him he could probably do any role you throw at him. He's that versatile. So, yeah. And Isa, she blew my socks off when we saw her in American Mariachi. I was like, girl, that was awesome. She made me cry every time. I saw it 3 times, and every time I cried. So yeah.
That's always a good thing too, as an artist, when you can make someone cry, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends on what context we're talking about, but yes.
True. Well, I'm just talking about an inspiring performance, yes, where it's like, wow, strikes the, the heartstrings,
Yeah. So why don't you tell me what you're watching on Netflix, or
I'm
whatever you're watching?
I'm addicted to true crime.
Okay.
I can't get enough of true crime for some reason.
True crime.
I don't know why. Just watching these stories. I recently watched one. I can't think of the name of it, man, but there was this guy who was an apparent serial killer in the 80s, and he confessed to like 200 murders. Come to find out, he was lying the whole time. He never did any of that. If you know what I'm talking about, I can't remember this.
Why would
it was 5 episodes, and
I
I watched every single one of them. It was almost a waste of time, but it was a weird thing happening there between the sheriff and the jail and this guy. They were treating him like a celebrity, and he just was stroking them. He was just telling them everything they wanted to hear, and they were feeding each other.
Yeah.
But it was all a lie. It was all a scam, and it was just ridiculous.
Why? I don't know.
People are in rough shape. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is.
And it highlighted a lot of different things in that story. And, listen, I'm not saying I like to watch true crime. I hate crime. I wish things wouldn't happen like that. But this guy came in here and lied to everyone on all these murders.
I used to watch Forensic Files, and I still do when I want to fall asleep. That's because the voice. The voice. It's like, and then he walked into the bedroom, and that voice that they do. The oh my God, it puts me to sleep. But I still watch it sometimes. That's my little.
I like it. The other thing I like are the nature shows. The ones on Netflix, the ones that show about the planet and the animals.
My son loves those.
Yeah.
My youngest, he loves those type of shows. So yeah.
Yeah, I watched one. It was the Sea Wolves. If you've seen that one before, check that one out. That was a good one on Netflix. Wolves. For anybody Netflixing and chilling out there, does anybody still do that? Netflix and chill?
I don't know. I don't know. They probably don't call it that anymore.
Yeah, they call it something else.
Yeah. Oh, but did you see the other new shirt we have?
So we got to see this bling shirt here. It looks phenomenal on camera. Laura's in here styling tonight. She's got all her jewels on and her bling. So, it was great having you in the show. Tell us a little bit quickly here before we get ready to wrap up. Tell us something that no one would ever guess about you. We're going to put you on the spot here. We haven't already.
No. I already told you about color guard and all that. So, I don't know.
You don't have something you want to share.
Don't put me on the spot like that. Something you
well,
guess about
we want to humanize our guests here and give people something to relate to.
Gosh, I cry a lot. Like people don't. Some people that know me know this, but a lot of people in the community, they see like what you see. Like I'm constantly,
you're right on point
I'm hustling. I'm here, there. You know, I'm do. And so they don't see behind closed doors. But I do cry a lot because I'm a very emotional person. And even Paula, she calls me. She's like, "Okay, Chiona," you know, because and it's not crying because I'm sad. Sometimes I cry because I'm happy, or I cry because I think I get it from my grandmother, actually, on my mom's side. She would cry all the time for everything, and we would always be like, "Oh my God, she's crying again." But here I am, I inherited that, so, but that's okay. I love her to death, so it's fine. That's something I do. I'm a very emotional person, I guess. You know,
there's nothing wrong
that's
with
the
that.
only thing I could think of right now. I was like, you put me on the spot there. I was like,
well, we try not to do it too much here, but we're having a little fun tonight. What else you got for us? We got about 5 minutes left in the show. We'll let you get some closing words in, whatever else you want to add here for the good of the order to share with our viewers here at VodPod. Big shout out to Guyland, big shout out to Jade, and big shout out to Amzai, everyone that came through tonight. The show could not be what it is without everyone's support. So if you're watching from home, we appreciate all the shares, the subscriptions. We are growing the channel. And again, we can't do it without you when you're starting off fresh. We're in 2023. We're moving right along, but we appreciate everyone's love and, everything that everyone's given to us here. So we know it's the same at Teatro Audaz. So give us some closing words. Give us anything you may want us to know for the good of the order, and we'll take it home there.
Okay. One thing is, I know that we've gotten a lot of questions about this. In our posting for our auditions, some of the dates on there say tentative, right? And it's only tentative because we're trying to confirm the dates with the venue that we're trying to secure for those 3 shows. But that's not to say that we're not going to do the show if we don't have the venue. It's more than likely going to happen. We're just waiting for some final signatures to happen, which I can't talk about it right now, but I'm really excited to be able to make that announcement when it's done. Once we get those final signatures, then we'll be able to talk about that venue. But the tentative just means the dates, because once we get the venue, then it's just making sure that those dates fit in with their calendar, which it seems like they will. We just want to double check. So that's why I said tentative. But regardless, we're doing those shows, and it's going to be in those months, and in like early June, middle of July, late August, early September, and then December. So if it's not going to be that venue, we're going to rent another one. But more than likely, this one's going to happen. We're just waiting for that final signature. Yeah,
we know that'll be big news as well when it all drops.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Other than that, just, if you believe in what we do, if you believe that representation matters on stage, I would say support us, right? Become a season sponsor at whatever level that's comfortable for you. And those links are online on our website, but also it's on the posting that we have. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. We have all of those, right?
There you go.
So follow us on social media because that's where we post a lot of our stuff. And support us if you do believe in what we're trying to do. It seems like people do support us in what we're doing because the community has really responded very positively to everything we do. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what we've built so far, just out of the idea of 3 Latinas that were like, hey, we need a voice, and we've done it. And now it's not even so much. At the time it was like, oh, there's no voice here for me, but I haven't even, I was in one show, right? Out of all the 25, 26, however many shows we've done so far with the 7 years. I think it's more than that. But either way, out of all those shows, it's there for the community, right? It's for other artists here in San Antonio. And I'm proud of the fact that we're able to give some people a shot, sometimes their first shot on stage or directing or designing. And, another, artistic director sees their work and then, will come and ask them to come do stuff at their, theater. And some people might be like, oh, they might get like, you're stealing my people. No, take them, because you know what? That's just giving them more exposure. Yeah. And I'm proud to say that we did that. We did that for them. We gave them, that start, even if it's just the smallest little thing, right? And a lot of them do stay or come back, and do stuff with us because there's just a different feel about being in a show with Teatro, right?
Yeah.
A different feel about our community there. So hopefully the people that have been involved with us can speak to that and talk about, what a great little, family we have, or that we build with each production. So sponsorship is important because we need help. We need those dollars. We can't do it without that. But also, buy tickets to come see the show. Come audition.
Yeah.
If you think you got something, audition, submit a video. We want to see what you got. So definitely do that.
There you go. She wants to see what you got to the community. So we're calling you out. If you're watching this, go ahead and follow on Facebook. Get out there and donate, support, audition. We'll see you then. Thank you so much, Laura, for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week here at VodPod Media for another show. Thank you so much, Gylan. Take it home.